Mask is a true story of two very unusual people and their special relationship. Eric Stoltz plays Rocky, a teenager born terribly disfigured. Cher plays Rusty, his tough, unconventional mother.
This is a public junior high school, Miss Dennis. There are special schools with wonderful facilities that might be more appropriate for his needs.
Do you teach algebra and biology and English here?
Of course.
Those are his needs.
Because I do feel that for the good of my students, as well as your son, I'm going to need some additional information.
Look, Mr. Sims, you know what? Don't jerk me around. I'm not in the mood. I've had a real crappy day so far. First, I find out that we're in the wrong school district. I got to come down here and play pussyfoot with you. This is a copy of our lease. This is a copy of Rocky's birth certificate, and this is his last report card from Stevens Junior High School, where he was in the top 5% of his class. And I got some additional information for you. My lawyer's name is B.D. Higgins.
In spite of its subject matter, Mask is not a depressing picture. When we met Cher, she was eager to talk about it and about other things, including critics.
I didn't used to read reviews, but since the film business, I kind of have read them. I don't really, this is terrible, I don't believe that you should base your life on what people think about what your work is. It's like if I read a bad review of a film, it wouldn't stop me from going to see it.
She talked about marriage.
I kind of regret being married so long. I kind of wish I hadn't gotten married so early or stayed so long in it.
And Cher talked about Sonny.
The thing that scared me most in my life was leaving Sonny. And after I left him, nothing ever really frightened me that much again. I did the thing that scared me the most. And after you do the thing that scares you the most, there's nothing else.
But mostly, Cher wanted to talk about the 8 agonizing years she spent trying to convince producers and directors that she was a talented actress worthy of a challenging role. During those years, Cher dealt with a lot of rejection.
At the time, I couldn't even get an agent who wanted to handle me for theatricals, you know. That was pretty devastating because I was this star and I couldn't get something that a lot of people could just go in and get, you know, without even having as much exposure or having been on the cover of Time magazine, you know. And so that was kind of devastating. And I would cry sometimes. I would be really mean to my manager sometimes. And I would be devastated. I would not care. I would be in love. I would be out of love. I would be dancing. I would be, you know, kicking up my heels in the south of France. I would be doing all kinds of different things. And sometimes I would think, look, these people have got to be right that are running this town, because if you were talented, you would have already worked.
Cher grew up here in the San Fernando Valley, practically in the shadow of Hollywood. Her name then was Sherilyn Sarkisian, and even at age 13, she was dreaming of acting and practicing her now famous autograph. But Cher married Sonny Bono when she was still a teenager, and she put acting behind her. For the next 10 years, Cher was half of the singing duo, Sonny and Cher. After a string of pop music hits, Sonny and Cher came to television in 1971. Their show ran 4 successful seasons, originating out of this CBS television studio. And even after their divorce in 1975, Cher continued to draw large audiences on TV. On her own, Cher joked and sang and strutted one outlandish outfit after another. Off-screen, her personal life made headlines. America loved her, but the movie moguls weren't impressed. Cher's television show, as well as her Vegas stage acts, would later haunt Cher, the serious actress.
I really felt good about the Sonny and Cher show and had no idea that the powers that be took it so lightly and made so much fun of it, or that, you know, it wasn't really acting. I mean, it was work, and it was acting to the degree that you can do when you do an hour show, one every week, and you've got 3 days to rehearse it, and, you know, and it's not perfect. But it was something, and it just didn't occur to me that it was kind of a joke until I got away from it a little bit.
Cher eventually gave up on Hollywood and tried Broadway, where she landed a supporting role on stage. The play led to a movie, and Cher was on her way. Her very next big screen appearance in Silkwood won her an Oscar nomination. Now with Mask, her acting career seems assured. Just the same, Cher still worries about public reaction to her new image. She especially wants to be liked by other women.
I'll give you a perfect example of my fears about that. when I was going to do the Phil Donahue show, I was going to sit in front of 250 women. And what I wanted to do was change my hair color and have long hair and wear, you know, a Betty Furness dress. And what I went in was a black leather jacket and a short black skirt and this hair, and thought, they're just going to have to like me in spite of the fact that I cannot remain constant.
Cher, do you believe in the institution of marriage?
Yeah, but who wants to live in an institution? They looked a lot different than I did, and so I thought, they're going to be this, they're going to ask me these really bitchy questions, they're not going to like me, they're going to be yada, 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 this, that, and the other. And the fact of the matter was, they were very nice, and they were all the same, no matter what we looked like. And that's something that I had forgotten.
There are hundreds of stars here along Hollywood Boulevard, all of them dedicated to show business greats. But there's no star for Cher, at least not yet. I'm happy to report, however, that the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce has approved a star, and I think you'll agree it's something she certainly deserves.